So I got a special request from Ton Nguyen to do an opening with a handheld, but now I realize why I don't do a handheld, because now I got to unbuckle it and figure out a place to carry the handheld. But anyway, I'm at my local beach called Lincoln Beach. Energy is about 1700, which is a little bit higher than I'd like. But what I realized yesterday as I was walking my beach is that this is a steeper beach, and so with the energy swells being a little bit higher, I don't think I'm going to be as impacted as much. It's about 2.4 incoming low tide. So I'm here to try where Dow got his 4 and see how it goes. So I got a gulp on the top and bottom, and I got our club worm in the middle. So let's see how it goes. Conditions are really nice. There's no wind here, and we'll see how it goes. All right. So what's interesting again is the sand here is much different than Moolac. It's not that fine grained sand. It's very pebbly. And again, I'm sinking into it about a half an inch to an inch. I live here. I don't fish this beach very often, so I don't know it very well. So we're just kind of playing it safe and see how it goes. But the waves are pretty big here. So the big difference between here and Moolac is the fact that even though the waves are very close and it's a 1700 energy day, the waves aren't coming very far up the beach, and so this is definitely a much more fishable beach at 1700 than Moolac is. But we'll see if the results are any better. So what's interesting about this beach is even though the waves are at 1700 and they look like they're going to knock me over, they don't. But because the sand is so loose, I lose my balance fairly easily because the footing's pretty uneven. And when the wave washes back and forth, it actually takes the sand out from under your feet. So this beach is definitely much more fishable than Moolac at 1700. Again, the only thing I don't like is that because the sand is so soft, your footing is very unsteady, and so you have a tendency to lose your balance here and there. I mean, nothing major, but you don't have solid footing at all. And when waves hit, again, the sand washes away both incoming and outgoing, so you end up sinking probably about 3 or 4 inches into the ground. So about fourth cast, I'm thinking 10 minutes here, no bites. Been here about a half an hour, about 5 casts in, walking up and down the beach, and no bites. So I'm gonna call it quits here because I'm gonna go meet another member at Wade Creek in a little bit. And this is getting very tiring because of the soft shiftiness of the sand, so I'm constantly working to keep my balance, so I don't want to get too tired out before I go to Wade. But it'll be interesting to see how Wade Creek feels compared to this beach at 1700. About this beach and Moolac also is the fact that the waves that are crashing here closer to me are much bigger than they are at Moolac. So I don't know if that's good or bad, because I see a lot of churning going on with food or sand being upwelled all the time. But on the other hand, it's a pretty violent surf, so I'm not sure that's good for surf perch or not, because it's a much more, like I say, violent wave action here than at Moolac, and I'm not sure if the perch could handle that kind of force of getting pounded on all the time. About 7 casts, no action. The thing I did learn about this beach though is that it's definitely fishable at a 1700. It's kind of compares to, I would say compares less to 1,000 energy day at Moolac. So that's interesting. The thing I don't like about this beach is that the sand is very grainy. The footing is very uneven. Your balance is always shifting because of how soft the sand is. So it's very unsteady footing, which kind of unnerves me. So that's what I found, and it's interesting here because I'm not sure you can see, but again, this is a very rocky beach compared to Moolac, especially in this particular area here where it's mostly all pebbles and large rocks. For the surfers right now, so as you go up the beach, it starts off very grainy, and then the grains start becoming very, very fine, and then at the top of the beach, this is where all the fine sand is deposited. So even if you came at high tide, the fish are in there, but at least you'd be standing on more solid ground. So maybe I'll come up here when it's high tide and I'm not constantly fighting for my footing, because that was a lot of work just trying to keep my balance on every cast, but not just every cast, but every single second of each cast, because the sand was constantly shifting underneath my feet and I was constantly having to catch my balance. So that's a lot more work than I'm used to, especially at Moolac. Worms. Okay, I got some worms from Mike Adam yesterday, so I'm going to leave 3 packs behind the Wade Creek sign. And looking back here, there's still a 3-ounce disc weight. So have at it. Alright, so just left Lincoln Beach, came to Wade Creek, and right away, Master Perch Slayer Dal Seychow is here. And we'll see how he's doing. But he hasn't come up in the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes, so that's a good sign, because he usually leaves right away if he's not catching. So we'll see how he's doing down there. And I'm also here to meet, for the first time, club member Jim Herman. I'm surprise visitor Ryan French. How you doing, dude?
How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. What'd you do here?
We're heading up to Canada Beach actually for a couple days.
Oh, you are?
I saw the cars, I saw the sticker, I was seeing you leaning, I was like, I gotta stop.
Yeah, this is Jim Herman, his son Jack.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
He's the guy that's gonna show us how to jetty fish when we get the get-together going.
Yeah, we've been killing them the last couple of days. A couple days ago, Tony got 2 nice things.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Keepers?
One was a keeper, one was a quarter inch shy.
Oh man,
But, yeah.
that's nice.
Oh, it was nice actually.
The reason I usually use my backpack is because I usually carry my rain jacket.
Yep.
Or a lot of times I get warm and then I don't know what to do with my hoodie or my sweatshirt. So so I keep a garbage bag in there.
Yeah.
And then when I need extra clothes, here, let's go down the grass. Okay. So then I have some place to carry my my clothes.
Yeah.
Now, I'm standing in the water at Moolac compared to Lincoln Beach. I can tell you that the ground is so much more solid when you stand in it, and I'm not losing my balance at all. The water still washes the sand away from under your feet, but not nearly like Lincoln Beach. A whole bunch of birds here that are really shallow, and I've never seen this many in one place at one time. So I'm going to head over there. Which was a pretty decent bite. Oh, actually might have a fish. So it's like my second cast. Oh, I think I lost it. Like my second cast at Wade. No, maybe I don't have a fish. But I definitely got a bite. So second cast, so that's a good sign. Right where the birds were. Shoot, I just had another hookup and lost it. Darn. So that was the cast right after my last bite. Bummer. 2 best hits I've had my last 4 or 5 trips. And man, I had a hookup that time, but it came off almost immediately. I was bummed. But those were definitely red tail bites. I finally got it. Another one. You guys keeping? Are you keeping fish? Oh man. Come on. All right, finally. All right, let's see. Unfortunately, it's on the gulp. It's 10.5 inch, about 10.5 incher. You guys got something to keep it in?
A male?
You know, I always forget. I wanted to keep it, said it was a female, so let's let it breed. Here we go. But 10 and a quarter, 10.5 incher. But that's 3 casts in a row for me with some nice bites. Red tail, and I guess like 5 or 6 trips. So like I said, I knew I was getting red tail bites my last 2 casts before that. So again, that's 3 casts in a row. That's cast 2, 3, and 4, where I've had a really nice bite. So this is cast 5. Man, so this is like the 3rd time I've been here. when tide's around this height, and again around the 6-7 feet height, I'm right at the trees. And again, action was pretty decent, even though Dallas said he got 0 bites. So again, you know, maybe that right tidal height is a key factor, I don't know. But it's finally nice to get a red tail. Oh my god. Jim Herman's rod a shot. It's a 9-footer. It's rated for 14 to 30 pound line, but there's no weight. There's no weight designation. Oh, and so the big difference I see right away is that there's not much of a slingshot effect because of how stiff the tip is. I see you get any bites? Move a little bit closer. I've been getting bites just about every time. Yeah. Last one was small though. Last one was just, and I traded rods for like 3 casts. I actually got bites 2 out of 3 times on his, even though they were small tap taps. I just switched back to my rod and immediately got a bite. So they're still biting just about on every cast, but a lot of them are silvers now. My first 3 bites were all very aggressive red tails, but now it seems like the silvers are taking over. Hi, how you doing? We're getting bites here. That's why I was waving you down.
What's that?
I said we're getting bites here. That's why I was waving you down.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, I was trying to wave you down. I'm Jay, by the way. Dennis?
I've
Well-
never fished since I was like 13 years old.
Oh really? You belong to the Oregon Perch Club by any chance?
No.
Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, so look for the Oregon Perch Club. That's why I'm meeting these guys here. But we have gatherings here quite often. But we're getting bites like all in here. A lot of them are small though. But I got a 10.5 incher when it first. Wave action has just been spectacular to me. I mean, there's just one successive wave after another. Still getting tiny bites, but not as frequently as about 15 minutes ago. So this is kind of how action has been for me since last October, November, which is I'd have sporadic action, but there's no sustained action, you know, for like a half an hour or an hour on end, like I was having like in September, October. But man, my first 10 minutes here, that was very encouraging, having those aggressive red tails. Oh, it came off because I saw it. It was right in the surf. Can't tell. Oh, sand crab. Yeah, thing's all torn up. And immediately I got a big hit, and it was a red tail, and I lost it just as I was pulling it on out of the water. But I'm gonna go look for more sand crabs now. But immediately, as soon as I threw it out there, it got a big hit. Doing stupid stuff. I'm turning my back to the waves looking for a mole crab because I'm having problems, and luckily Jim warned me about the last wave, but I got to keep my eye on the waves. So after I had my hookup on the mole crab, I've been looking for one for the last 10 or 15 minutes and I can't find one. It's like I want one really bad. But like I said, as soon as I put it on and cast it, I got to hit immediately and have the hookup. So this is probably the best day of action I've had in a long time. Probably in about a month, maybe even a month and a half, but had about 15 or 20 casts, maybe closer to 15 I'm guessing. I don't think I got in 20 because they were pretty long casts in terms of they would stay out there quite a while. But I got the 10.5 incher on my 3rd cast. I got 3 aggressive bites right away on cast 2, 3, and 4. And after that, I got mostly red tails until about half an hour ago. I put a sand crab on, and as soon as I put it on, cast it out, I had another hookup over a red tail, and I had it just at the surf, but I lost it. But still got a lot of silver, you know, taps throughout the day, and just didn't get a lot of hookups. But again, it's consistent bites almost all the time I was here. I think it's a little bit past 2 hours, or right around 2 hours. Path is dried out now, So you don't necessarily have to go down the grass anymore because it's not slippery. But if it starts raining again, I head for the grass, because as soon as it starts raining, clay part becomes really slippery and you don't want to go down on the way down to the beach. Today's the first day where I was getting bites just about on every cast, and so this is the first opportunity I've really had a chance to feel that kind of action with the Santiam rod. And again, I was surprised today about how easily I could feel the bites today, because before I was having trouble feeling the bites, but today I could feel just about every single tap. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I think it's just me getting used to how the rod works and how bites feel.